Hi, this is Zak Mir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here on Share Talk for Thursday, the 14th of May. Starting off with their partner, which has obviously been a rather rocky ride over the last few months. The gap down there in January, gap down again in March with the selling climax, and then actually the gap higher earlier this month through the 50 and 200-day moving averages, which is normally a good signal on the upside. Breaking that neckline resistance around 52, 53 pence and higher. Since then, the view at this stage is at least while we're above the low 60s, 62, 63 pence, something like that, we could hit the 90 pence to one pound area, filling that gap down from January, but obviously a rocky ride and not exactly the most popular sector at the moment. Going on to a stock which I'd never heard of before, which is always good in the sense that we've got a fresh candidate for greatness potentially, Bonhill. Here we could see that the shares just attempting to break recent neckline resistance around the 6.5 to 7 pence area. The highs there at the beginning of April around 7. So above that we've got technically got a recovery situation. Target as far as the near term is concerned, obviously the 50-day line at 10.6. Normally a stock will hit that even if it'll fade after that. Support on the way down up at 13 pence, but obviously at this stage that does feel a little bit ambitious, but let's see how that particular scenario goes. Clear Leisure, a stock with a history, obviously. I'm not quite sure whether it's a great one either, but at least technically we've broken this line of resistance, this triangle from back in July around the 0.23 pence level. While we're above that, we've theoretically got a recovery situation. The shares could creep up to retest December resistance at 0.4 pence, and who knows after that. Best case scenario target over the next 2 to 3 months as high as 0.6 pence. But as I said, obviously the shares have not been one of the greatest performers around in the recent past. Another new name for the Bulletin Board Heroes in the near term is probably the best looking chart of the day. As far as the setup here is concerned, broken that line of resistance there from March around 21 pence, so that's also the area of the 20-day moving average. Nice bear trap rebound from below 20 pence as well. That's a positive. Bullish divergence here in the RSI window, so lower low for May, but higher RSI trace there for the start of the month, so that's pretty good too. Should at least get up to 32, 33 pence, which is the top of that broadening triangle from March, and who knows. Support on the way down was 40 pence, and that's also the area of the 200-day moving average, the black line there at 41 pence. There's a call, a rather sheepish call on Iconic Labs a couple of days ago. Just interesting to see how the shares have spiked towards the 0.39 pence level earlier today. Obviously some resistance there and just above it at the 50-day line, but at least while we're above this point, I suppose 0.025 pence area, there could be the chance of further upside for the stock, but obviously quite early days yet. Stop loss on the whole argument at the moment back at 0.02, obviously, which is recent support for May, the higher low there versus that bear trap in April. On to stock which is got a bit of buzz on Twitter at the moment, and I think quite rightly so. i-nexus Global. I was going to cover it a couple of days ago, but just wanted to see how it develops. Better to be in these cases a little bit late rather than a little bit too early, and then find that the stock just falls away. We've got the shares breaking, I suppose, a line of resistance there from February around. What's that? The sort of the low 5.25 pence level, or sort of 5.75 pence level. Above that, looking for further gains, maybe to fill the gap up towards 12, 13 pence. But as I said, it's just the setup here with the good consolidation above the 50-day line does recommend this as a potential recovery situation over the next few weeks. Good announcement today from ImmuPharma, a stock which clearly has upset one or two bulls in the past, but we were looking on the last occasion for the shares to break through the 15, 16 pence area. They've done that now. Ideally, they will stay above at least the bottom of today's gap at 15 pence. And after this triangle break that I'm just drawing at the moment, as far as the upside is concerned, let's see whether we can get into the or stay in the low 20s, so 22, 23 pence. Something better maybe than just the brief spike we've seen at the moment. But it really depends how the shares consolidate over the next few days. Obviously, if you're a fan of the stock, you'll be hoping for a retest of that late November peak through 30 pence. Stock which has had good news overnight is Tiziana Life Sciences, suggesting yesterday that 80 pence was a level to break after the main resistance, near-term resistance at 70 pence was broken. We spiked very close to the top of that channel that I drew yesterday at £1.20. I think 1.15 was the best so far. Basically, the view here is that while we're above 80, looking for another journey towards £1.20 over the next few sessions. Finishing off with Xeros Technologies, or technology rather, here. Interesting setup in the sense that we've got the stock just attempting to clear the main resistance, neckline resistance, really on the extended base that the stock's made. So 1.32 pence, the magic number there. End of day close above that should be enough to give some momentum, possibly towards a target in the upper 1p's area, so 175 up to 180, something like that. If you're keen on the stock and can't wait for that, the current level, the current setup is a positive one. We had a cross between the 50 and 200-day moving averages a month ago, and both are rising at the moment. So there is some momentum there, and a double bounce for the RSI at the neutral 50 level. So that is leading the stock higher, and so it may be that aggressive traders would be entering that position or that situation ahead of a 1.32 pence break. But the easiest thing here really is to wait for an end of day or a weekly close above that number before considering the buy argument. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.